USTRANSCOM, on behalf of the Department of Defense, conducted a 2-year Transportation Management System prototype to evaluate key capabilities needed to support multi-domain challenges we face in the 21st century.
So there's 3 overarching problems that we're trying to solve in the TMS prototype. First of all is how do we link our disconnected nodes, whether it's the aerial ports, the seaports, or power projection platforms, with a common IT platform so that our joint forces are able to see combat power arriving in a theater operation. Second thing is how do we globally integrate transportation operations across all modes, whether it's airlift, sea lift, or land movement. And then finally, how do we better improve this for the end user? Our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, who are actually at those nodes performing the mission day in and day out.
While transportation and logistics experts throughout the enterprise focused on requirements and configuration of the TMS, the #1 risk of moving forward, resistance to change, was addressed by capturing the voice of the users. Comments and captions seen in this video are representative of what was heard throughout the enterprise.
It's important to remember that this just wasn't a tabletop exercise. We had people actually in the system.
Sometimes there's a lot of hurdles with how many systems we use. And I mean, us porters, you know, sometimes we tell it like it is and our systems are dated. I think we as a military, regardless of who you are in the DoD, we waste a lot of man hours, I would say.
Every branch of the service has their own systems. And so if we could have one system that everybody is using to process the material and to be able to allow the users and the customer and the senior leaders and the carriers and the person down at the ground level to be able to go into one system and to process stuff, I mean, that's just a huge accomplishment.
TMS benefits leaders by allowing them that true end-to-end picture. It allows them to see their movement of their equipment from start to finish. It also improves communication within the organization itself, holding individuals accountable and answering the questions the commanders want to know. Where's my stuff?
We use JDA's warehouse management system, and I think it took us about 2 weeks to get this process developed and up and running where we could export out. Because the TMS is a modern, off-the-shelf product, it was very easily able to accept that information and create the order of here's what needs to be moved.
Feedback was collected throughout the prototype to help improve processes and enable TMS capabilities supporting each scenario and to help document focus areas moving forward. Information was collected during interviews, SWOT analysis, .mil PFP meetings, and user surveys.
It didn't really take me long to get trained on the TMS prototype. The system is fairly easy. I would say a couple of days, but even now I'm still working to get more proficient at it.
First and foremost, they loved the flexibility of the system. They loved the fact that they were able to go in there and update events in real time.
Making sure the complexities of every lane is understood, but also training the partnerships with the different carriers, making sure that not only are we ready for the TMS, but the carrier is ready for the TMS and ready to do business.
I think the biggest challenge will be the change. I mean, we're talking about impacting a lot of personnel here, various entities across the Department of Defense. And people have been doing they've been using these programs for 20, 40 years.
Instituting a commercial language into a military world, that's going to be probably the hardest, but it's not going to be an end game.
We see this as being something that is going to be long-lasting and sustaining and is going to make the logistics process better for everybody, not just DLA.
It was just the configuration issues that were the challenges of, pushing out a new system. The pros outweigh those challenges. The TMS was able to catch and enforce discipline within the deployment process. Stuff that's not actually being done today, the TMS was able to point out and to help the unit and help the stakeholders involved in the movement to move efficiently and effectively.
Industry very much automates the information coming into their system to create a booking. TMS is a tool to enable that.
I think that the innovation is definitely something that we're all hungering for in an increasingly busy enterprise. We're not going to slow down anytime soon. And the fact that our current legacy systems, while great and have done amazing things, I think that we could pull those into something that is faster and bigger to encompass our worldwide mission. And being able to speak to our Army brothers and sisters, to our Marine brothers and sisters in one system when they're trying to get out the door in 24 hours. I don't have to call back to a location who's 6-hour time difference away to grab a piece of paperwork. I think that right there says enough. I mean, we need to get the bullets and the beans to those guys and gals downrange, and that's what we can do with this system if we can get it right.
What we found was this has the exact capabilities that we need to sustain and deploy the Joint Force in the 21st century.